So my name is Brian L. Frye, and I am the Dogecoin Professor of Law and Grifting at the University of Kentucky College of Law.
Say Dogecoin?
I lied. But my real title is way less funny. So I got interested in crypto NFTs really about a year ago. And have spent that entire time writing about, thinking about, and documenting to the best of my own personal ability what people are doing and why they're doing it, what they're thinking about the space. So today, I think people typically think of the NFT market for works as being tied only to JPEG images and being kind of an analog to the traditional art market. But I think if we think more holistically about how the NFT market actually functions in practice and how people think about it, it becomes clear pretty quickly that it's a model that's at least conceptually applicable to any kind of work of authorship that people find interesting and valuable and want to be associated with. Or even more broadly, I would suggest that we could think about it as being applicable to any kind of product or concept that has future potential commercial goodwill that people think is going to be even more important and even more exciting to people in the future. In effect, it's the way of kind of speculating on the future of the career or the kind of commercial interest in particular artists, particular authors, particular innovators, particular creators. Obviously, Tezos has been really appealing to a lot of artists, both because of the ethos of the Tezos blockchain and the nature of the market, who's participating in it, how people talk about it, how people think about it. Right? So I think, it's really exciting to see these competing products, as it were, sort of styling themselves in different ways, appealing to different people participating in the market, and suggesting how, you can do things in different ways for different reasons and compete around understanding what the future of a technology is going to look like and why. We've become, as a society, as a sort of group of policymakers, but also as innovators, I think kind of stagnant in the way that we think about what the innovation economy will look like. We tend to think of it in terms of property, in terms of ownership, in terms of control, and I think that's really a shame because there's an awful lot of transactions costs, there's an awful lot of market failure, there's an awful lot of harm that actually flows from that kind of control and that kind of ownership. And what I think the really interesting and exciting potential of NFTs is that they suggest a way that we can have an economy in creative works, an economy in innovation goods, an economy in information that doesn't require control over the use of that information, but only requires the ability to kind of associate it with it or financialize it in ways that people can transact without having to control how people use it. And I think that if we can open up the use of information to everyone as broadly as possible, it would be a beautiful thing. I mean, after all, the promise of the internet is a kind of library of Babel that includes everything that allows everyone to use every work whenever they want to, however they want to, for free. And the only reason we don't have that is because of control. And I think if blockchain technology gives us a way to get to a place where we can have an information economy that doesn't require people to exercise control over the kind of information that they create, I think that would be a hugely beneficial and really revolutionary change for our society and how we use information. I think that Web3 and blockchain technologies create opportunities for a far broader range of potential innovators and potential creators than previously existing technologies or social technologies ever have. Because in the past, you needed intermediaries between the creators and the consumers or the investors, in some sense, in a work of authorship. You needed publishers, you needed record companies, you needed dealers, you needed people who stood in the middle and decided who was going to get a chance to participate and who wasn't going to get a chance to participate. And in some cases, those people were trying to be inclusive, but didn't necessarily know what people wanted. In other cases, they were intentionally trying to be exclusive. And I think the really cool thing, or like one of the many really cool things about sort of making those intermediaries less important in facilitating the kinds of market transactions that people are engaged with is that we can see that there was an awful lot of latent demand for kinds of works of production and kinds of goods that we couldn't see before because it was too hard for people to engage in those transactions. And so by making those connections, by enabling creators to connect with investors, speculators, consumers, people who are excited about what they're doing, I think it's shown how much broader and richer the demand for innovative activity actually is.